Hey all, welcome friends. So today is another sort of quick video. I just wanted to talk about a couple of things that we have on deck. So one, we've been writing the smart contract for creating a secondary marketplace on Near. So I want to talk about the design problem of the day, which is how do you represent NFT to NFT swaps, and sort of what should the format be and what kind of considerations it was kind of thinking. And then sort of the secondary thing is taking a look at like what kind of feature sets might be nice to have for this marketplace in terms of view logic. And then finally, just to say that, hey, look, we're kind of interested in uh, being more involved in the token engineering community. So I recently became a member, or I guess a pending member of the Commons Stack. And so I'll just briefly talk about that. All right, so let's jump into it. Okay, I cracked myself up. Okay, so as you know, I've been forking the marketplace from Near Apps. And so one of the things that they do within this contract, which I like, is for like NFT approval. So within Near, there's this function called, let's see if I can pull it up, to approve. And so this, by the way, is Sea Lion. I really do recommend this a lot. If you're using like Rust development on Near, Sea Lion is just really nice to have, especially when you have multiple contracts within a workspace. So VS Code is normally my daily driver, but Sea Lion is just like really nice for contracts because it allows you to very easily um, have multiple projects in like a single like sort of IDE space without like blowing up. And it's good at resolving sort of the things you might do with integration tests, etc. And it's super fast. So worth the subscription. Okay, so NFT approve. What this function does, which is part of the NFT standard, is it approves a token ID to be transferred. And so one of the clever things that they've done here is that when you approve an NFT to be transferred, you also, within the message, send a JSON stringified message that includes the sales conditions. So the sales conditions would be something like, this thing is a fungible token for this amount. I would like to post this NFT for sale. So if we look at some of the logic here, bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, cool. So sales conditions. And then if we just click through here, we can see this thing. What's a sales condition type? Well, a sales condition is a fungible token ID and a U128. So one of the things that we're looking to do with our marketplace is to basically flip this on its head. So let me just go back. I have VS Code still in my brain. So if we go to sale, I'm just going to do this. Boom. Okay, so a sale looks like this. It has the owner ID, the approval ID, the contract that you're specifying. So it could be, I don't know, I'll call it CryptoPunks.near because that's fun. And then we have the token ID, and then we have sales condition. So one of the things that I was looking at is, well, the sales conditions for this NFT marketplace, I want to actually support metadata filtering. So the way I was thinking of going about this is basically specifying sales conditions for NFT, sales conditions for FT, and then you could have a mix of both. So the eventual thing would be to expand out until you're able to represent either a fungible token or a non-fungible token. And so sort of the sketch of what this would look like is that for non-fungible tokens, you would have this metadata filter type. And the metadata filter would specify potentially a token ID that you would accept, optionally the sort of NFT metadata, and then optionally a specific receiver. So if you're thinking about doing a person-to-person swap and you know this person, you want to say, hey, look, I really want your Metamon card or whatever, what you would do is you would then specify this account ID, and that would allow you to like do the swap. And so this is like kind of interesting, because if you go back to like the on sale, um, there has to be somewhat of a limit on the number of conditions that you place, because it could be eventually gas expensive if you have like, well, I want this NFT to be traded for uh, we'll say, just to use Ethereum logic because it's more popular, a cool cat, a bored ape, and 50 other type of NFT options. And so that becomes costly to iterate through all of those and validate that the person that is saying they want to put an offer in for the sale is actually satisfying the conditions or one of the conditions that are within the sales condition set. So that's kind of the design decision stuff that we're still sort of playing around with, but this is kind of the direction that we're going, which is to have these specific filters. The other thing to consider is maybe just having sales conditions be expanded, and then having underneath that fungible, non-fungible, or the new sort of multi fungible token, or having a more generic structure where the thing that we would do is say have something like a pub type called I don't know, we'll call it sales data, sales condition data. This is happening live, where it's like, oh, you can pipe in a U128, you can have NFT metadata filter, or you can have you can have some combination of both. Technically, you could have an MT metadata filter. That's what I'll say. Although there is some overlap between the multi-token standard and the NFT standard, they're actually the same. For like future proofing, it kind of makes sense to like split that out and then you can switch on it. And so what you would do is have something like fungible token ID, and then you put the comma. You just actually do this. You'd say token ID, and for the fungible token ID, it would be the account ID. And then you would then say your hash map is one of sales condition data. And do this, this, raw. Okay, cool. And we'd say pub type, sales conditions. All right. So that's like the basic sketch and trajectory. And so now I'm just going to pop into some of the other stuff that we've been doing, or that I did like kind of today. Well, us. Okay, so one of the things I've been looking at is like, well, how do we have the best sort of experience? And so today I stumbled across genie.xyz. And this is not like our particular use case, but they're kind of doing something interesting where they're making trades across multiple markets to say like, hey, this thing that you have is worth something. So in this case, I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to say, let's say I had a Cheaty and this has some sort of liquidity in their marketplace. I'll take this and I'll say, hey, look, this is what I want to receive. We add some tokens. So if we were to do this, let's go back. All right, so, and so I think it's also just like looking across particular like pools, like NFT exchange, NFTX, NFT20.io. And so what those are NFT like aggregators. So it allows you to make an instant swap. But one of the things that we're kind of looking at is the UI experience. So you have kind of the left side of NFTs that you want to add, and then you want to sort of resolve what's in the user's wallet. So what I want to do here is do the same sort of thing, resolve what's in the user's wallet, because I think it's really nice to be able to filter by collection, etc. And so this may require the graph or using Near's indexer in order to get the list of what's in a person's wallet. So that's a little bit unclear, And that's like one of those design and like dev things I need to dive into. Sort of other things. I have this listing I'm not too wild about, um, but it's kind of nice to be able to choose which NFT you're going to list. And then I think we would have something where you could choose what NFT you're looking for. And so that might require an integration with Paras, or it might require additional information from Pluminite. Um, the like easy way around that is to say something like, you just enter in the account for the thing that you're looking for, and then you specify the metadata for it. And so that could be tricky or could not be tricky. We'll try and do things to make that easy for the user. Um, but it's a little bit unknown on Near how that should translate. And it may require having an indexer. Okay. And then finally, I kind of popped into the commons stack, which is basically trying to build a set of commons around, let's say, token engineering, which I think is like sort of the first, um, like, I don't know, protocol initiative. Yeah, initiative is the right word. And so it's pretty cool. So far, they have a Discord that's pretty active, talking about ideas in the space. So if you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend joining that. Okay, so that's it for the update tonight. You can check us all out on Twitter Spaces Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 PDT. So that's Pacific Standard Time or Pacific Daylight Time. And you can find us on Discord. So just check the links below, and I will catch you next time. Thanks. Bye. I'm still here.